guide for people who want to start skating but don't really know where to start, because a lot of people tell me that, like, they want to start skating but they just don't know how. So I wanted to answer some questions that, you know, I had when I started skating, and like things that I've heard from other people. It's gonna be a two-part like series, I guess. The first one's gonna be more about just like things you need to know before you start skating, and sort of like things you might be worried about, like stuff like that, whatever. But then the second one is gonna be more about like technical things for like, look at my toilet in the back. That's so weird. Hold on, I'm about to shut the door in a minute. But I can't. I have to shut the door. Oh my god. The second video is gonna be about like more of the technical side of like when you're actually skating, you're first starting to actually like be out there skating, what you should try, or like things that would help you, whatever, like actually doing it. So yeah, this is video number 1. So if you want to start skating but you don't know how, I got you. So number 1, getting a board. This is the only like technical thing on this list, because I have my little notes. But so getting a board, I would recommend going in one of two directions. So either if you have friends who skate already, tell them that you want to start skating and ask them to help you collect some extra parts to build a board, or go to your local skate shop and do the same thing. Tell them you want to start skating and you need to put a board together. And if you don't have the money to buy just a complete setup, just tell them that you're kind of like low on money or whatever, but you really want to start skating. And they might try to work with you on that, because a lot of skate shops will have discount boards, rental boards, old boards that people have left there that they'll just give away. Maybe not the whole setup, but definitely a lot of skate shops have extra decks laying around, and just parts in general. So ask them that. And if not, then, you know, whatever, maybe you have to buy it, maybe you don't. But that would be my recommendation on that, because a board setup completely new is going to be around like $150 to $200, which is a lot. And really, no one spends that much. I didn't spend that much when I got a board. I got trucks and wheels from somebody, I got a board from somebody else, and hardware I may have got myself, whatever. But it's pretty easy to put a board together because most people have parts left over. So yeah, you should try to find as many parts from people that you know as possible, or a skate shop if you don't know anyone, so that you can cut down on that cost of a complete setup. I would just want to add this: don't get a Walmart board. Just don't do it. It has nothing to do with it being lame or anything. It's just literally, it's harder to use. Like, you can get someone that's really good at skating using a Walmart board. They can't skate. Like, it's horrible. All the parts are plastic and they barely move, and it makes it really hard to use. So it's not worth it. Just don't do it. Just save your money. They're already like $20 or $30. Just put that money towards a board, towards a real board. Next thing is, you might be wondering where you should skate. Should you go to a skate park? Should you not? Are beginners really welcome at skate parks? All that kind of stuff was stuff that I was wondering when I started. And really, it's just up to you. If you want to go to a park, you totally can. You're completely welcome there, and you have a full right to be there. If you don't feel comfortable there, that's fine too. You can just go to a parking lot, or, you know, somewhere that you're alone and you're comfortable trying something. Because when I started, I didn't like the idea of like trying something in front of a bunch of people who are good at it already. Like, I just felt kind of like weird. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go try this in this little parking lot by my house, and if I don't like it, or I suck, or I am embarrassed or whatever, I can just not be around people. So I did that for like a month or two, and then I started going to the park, and it was completely fine. And it was much of a more like seamless transition for me, because that's just how my personality is. If you do want to go to a park, there's really no pressure about being there. It's really just a matter of being observant, respectful, and considerate of others. When you first get there, all you really need to do is just treat it like it's your first day at like a new job or something, and kind of just sit back and watch how other people do things. You know, don't be the first one to run up and start doing stuff that you don't know really where other people are going or anything yet. Sit back, watch what other people are doing and start to notice their patterns. So most people, if they're not insane, most people will have a pattern. So you'll know who's gonna be where. So if you see the guy in the red hat keeps skating up to this one rail, if he does that like more than once, that's probably something he's skating. So if you see the guy in the red hat start coming this direction, you should probably move away from the rail, that type of thing. If you want to put your stuff down, look where other people have their stuff, put it in a similar place. If you want to sit down, look where other people are standing, look where other people are standing. Same kind of thing. Like, just notice patterns and kind of just fit in with what people are doing until you can understand learn the rules before you break them, essentially. Kind of just follow what other people are doing until you can figure out how to like navigate it. And you have full right to take a turn. Take your turn just like everyone else, and people are going to respect you taking your turn as long as you let them take theirs too. So it doesn't matter if you're literally just rolling and you can barely push. If that's your turn, and people are going to respect that, unless they're just jerks, which, you know, that I guess happens sometimes, but it's not the majority of people. Most people are completely respectful of beginners. So the next one kind of comes from what I was just saying. People are really not judging you as much as you think. And I kind of just want to like explain to anyone that's wondering how people look at you or how people see you. Pretty much the way people are going to see you is they're going to watch you do something right when you get there, assess your skill subconsciously, and then just be like, oh, they're a beginner, moving on. Like, and they would do the same thing with anyone else. They would do the same thing with someone that's a pro. You know, if they came up into the park and were obviously really good, somebody would look at them and just think, oh, they're really good, and then they would probably move on. Like, it's really nothing past that. No one cares past that. It's literally like everyone's worrying about their own skating after that. It's more of just like, as you know, as humans, we like to look at things and put them in a mental category. So it's really, that's as far as it goes. So don't feel embarrassed about being a beginner or anything like that. Like, people will notice, but it's not in a bad way. They might try to help you, or, you know, they might even give you more room because they know that you might not be as comfortable being at a skate park, stuff like that. So yeah, don't feel embarrassed about the fact that you are a beginner or anything like that. Next point I have, don't be afraid to talk to people. It doesn't matter your skill level, you can make conversation, and it makes things a lot more comfortable when you've kind of broken the silence with people and you can make a little bit of conversation here and there. And the last thing I have on this is, don't take advice too seriously in either direction. So don't take it necessarily as an insult, and don't take it completely as truth. So if someone offers you a piece of advice, you can try what they're saying, but if it doesn't work for you, don't trip over it, just move on. But also don't immediately take it as an insult either, because most likely they're just trying to help. There are some people that will just say things just to kind of like flex that they're better than you. Like, that, it does happen. That is literally a thing. Like, but it usually comes from people who aren't very good themselves, but they're a little bit better than you. That's usually the person that will say the thing that's completely unhelpful, and it just flexes their own knowledge. So, but you can usually tell who's doing that, even if you don't know anything about skating yet. You can tell who's actually being helpful and who's just trying to flex their own abilities. So next one. This sounds so cliche, but just be yourself. Being yourself means that you dress however you want, you skate however you want, talk however you want, you do whatever you want. You don't have to follow any kind of like trend of skate culture or anything like that. Like, you can wear whatever you want to skate in, as long as it's comfortable to you. So I was gonna say something else about this too. I can't remember what it was. I remember what I was gonna say. Being yourself and maintaining your true actual personality, it'll help you develop your style. So even if you don't see it at first, it's really important to do that, because if you try to skate or dress like people you see, like somebody you see and you really like, It's not a bad thing always, but if you do it like a lot, you'll kind of lose your own style, and it kind of just messes things up. I think it's a lot better if you just are completely yourself, and develop a really good style of your own. So this is about progression, not in the technical sense, but just more of in the mental sense. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again in the next video probably. You do not have to learn things in a certain order. No amount of skating is bad for you. It's not gonna be a negative effect on your progression if you try more things. Like, I never understand the concept of people saying don't try that yet. I've never understood why someone would say that. It's you can do both. Like, I've never understood why people do that. I think it's like a personality thing, like more creative people and more like type A kind of people. But don't listen to people telling you not to try something yet, unless it's like a dangerous thing. But that's another thing. But don't put any limits on your abilities. Or two, the best thing you can do for your progression is skate consistently. It's the best thing you can do. Really, nothing else is going to help as much as just skating as much as possible. That is the best thing that will help you progress. It doesn't matter what you're trying. It doesn't matter what you're succeeding at. It doesn't matter what you're landing. If you're just out on your board more, that will help you more than anything. And the last thing I just want to wrap up with is that skating can be whatever you want it to be for you and for your life. So if you want it to be something that you do every single day, all your friends are skaters, you're completely in skate culture, it's your number one hobby, that's fine. That's totally cool. That's awesome. Do that. If it's something you want to do once a month and you don't want to talk to anybody and you just want to do it on your own and you want to go home, that's also fine. It doesn't have to be anything more than whatever you want it to be. So yeah, I hope that helped. Like I said, I'm gonna make the other video about like the things that you should, I don't say should, but the things that would be helpful for you to know about like actually skating when you start. So I forgot to make an outro for that video, but yeah, that was it. And you can leave a comment or something if you want, or you can hate on it or whatever. But anyway, that's my video, so.